This is how my journey started. So I'm going to tell you my story. I know what it feels like to feel not wanted and not welcomed. So for me, that started in my mother's womb. My mom's deep desire to give my dad a boy child became my biggest disappointment when I was a girl. And until this day, I still get emotional because it is a real problem. How many mothers here wants a boy child that had maybe had a miscarriage and just wanted a boy? And then you get presented with a girl, and 3 months later you decide to give her a name because you actually didn't want her. So my mom's disappointment is something I started wearing on my face. And obviously it was never my mom's desire or intention for me to feel disappointment. But it started within the womb. And it was so deeply connected. My reality became my identity. To amplify this, at the tender developing age of 11, my parents went through a traumatic divorce. The experience left me feeling orphaned at heart. I didn't know where I belonged. I didn't know where I fit in. And to be honest, I felt like the 3 core pillars of any healthy, young, developing child hitting puberty was stripped away from me. Pillars of identity, maturity, and self-worth. So, my deep desire for approval became my compass of life. I made sure that I did my best to be the best. But despite my efforts, I always came second best. I was the second child. In primary school, I became deputy head girl. In high school, I became vice president. And in corporate, I was always known as second in charge. Lekker, nee? Anyway, at the age of 19, at that point in time, I was already struggling with a 4-year obsession to lose weight. I had exceptionally high cortisol levels due to stress. And for those that battle with cortisol, you will know that you will pick up weight, water retention, and you bloat. So obviously, remarks are made, comments are made. And to top it all, I just went through a breakup after a 5-year relationship with my boyfriend. And I thought to myself, if only I can lose weight, maybe my ex-boyfriend will take me back. Maybe then my parents will start paying attention and I will get the necessary recognition that I've always longed for. But all I really wanted was to belong. So I went to varsity. I wanted to pursue my dreams to become a biokineticist. I met a friend, and she went through a similar thing that what I went through, and we decided we're going to lose weight together. We got introduced to a substance called ephedrine. So, Lazan, you will understand. Ephedrine is the main substance of any form of drug. It is a central nervous system stimulant. It is predominantly used to resuscitate. If you have a heart attack, they inject you with ephedrine. It's also used to lower or to prevent low blood pressure during anesthesia. So we decided to use that, but we made our own concoction, legit. We mixed ephedrine with cayenne pepper, potent bomb, and we put it into tablets. So we started drinking these tablets, and I must say it worked wonders. We started losing a lot of weight. We looked amazing. We had energy for days. and our concentration levels were next level. I performed well at varsity. At this point in time, this was year 1. So I realized that it's good, everything's working well for me, but I need to take it up a notch, right? Like with everything. Your body reaches tolerance, which is your own body's diminished response due to repeated use and drug abuse. And when you reach tolerance, you need to take more to feel more. So I did. I decided to take ephedrine in its purest form, which looks like xylitol, by the way, crystal form, and I would refine it and snort it. And the reason I did that was to get an immediate response, a faster response. What also happened was, my dad told me that if I wanted to move out of his house, I needed to work. So I did. I became a personal trainer at the time that I was studying, but I also met a guy that was 10 years older than me, that was right for all the wrong reasons. And he took everything that was special to me. So not only did I have to look after him financially, I also had to pay franchise fees because I'm a personal trainer. I also had to study and keep my marks up because I'm an A-grade student, right? I also had to pay for my flat and balance work life and a demanding relationship with a man that really didn't deserve me. I couldn't. It was just way too much. So in my second year, half of the year, I realized I'm at burnout point. I need to do something drastically. So I took it up further. Not only did I snort ephedrine, but I also experimented with cat. I also, to top that, started drinking slims, or slings. I don't know if you know about slings. Slings, at a certain point in time, contained ephedrine, potent to lose weight. It's a potent appetite depressant, or suppressant. And I started using all of that just to try and keep everything afloat. I knew I was heading for breakdown. But what do you do if you're so deep in it? You just continue. At the end of my in the beginning of my third year, I stopped working. I had financial obligations. I became indebted. I took out bonds and loans to try and support myself, as well as this man that I shouldn't be part of. And I dropped out of varsity because I realized I need professional help. My mom intervened when my father called and said, "Come and fetch your daughter." So she did. She came to fetch me and she took me back home. And that's where my journey started for rehabilitation. But before I got there, I lied, I stole. I did all of that just to belong. So Mom came to the rescue and she took me in. And I thank God, because my forbidden fruit almost cost me to lose everything I stood for. I have everything going for me, but I never believed that. I seek professional help, and they helped me with a lot of medication. I had to open my central nervous system with receptors inside to respond to your normal fight and flight response. I had to go into antidepressants. I had to start with proper nutrition and a lot of prayer. In and out to church. My mom got so many people to pray for me, and within 6 months, I was fully rehabilitated. Until this day, 15 years later, I've never used ephedrine. I am clean. But one thing I realized, the deep wounds still existed. I might be rehabilitated, but I'm not unrooted. The deep wounds of feeling not worthy, feeling that you don't belong, feeling that you are not worth anything, still remained. And it's something I really had to work hard on. And even at the age of 37, that's why I'm here. Because I realized Satan doesn't bring new tricks. He just brings the old tricks back. So the question I have to you today is to say, what is your forbidden fruit? What is it that you are holding on and have been holding on for such a long time in your life? What are the lies that you have been telling yourself? Maybe you have been labeled by society as a certain thing, but you have started believing that. And what you've been born into became your reality and is ultimately your identity today. We don't realize the lies that we keep telling ourselves, and that the biggest battlefield is the battlefield of the mind. God knew that identity was such a big deal to us that He constantly writes about it, or wrote in the Bible about its significance. God knew our identity will bring great suffering to us if we weren't convinced of our significance. Do you hear that? He not only reminds us, He affirms us, and He reconfirms that. And He says repeatedly who you are, but who you are in me. And the day I made a decision to say, I am no longer of this world. I am from God. And I am merely but a vessel. Everything started changing. I'm not nearly where I want to be, but I'm so much closer. I'm closer today than I ever were. Because I finally believe that what I see is beautiful. I finally believe that my existence is enough. And I don't have to prove my self-worth, because I am born worthy. And that to me was the biggest revelation and liberating feeling ever. Because my identity is in Christ, not defined by the constraints of a calendar. Maybe you're 50 or 60 and you feel like you have no value to add. That's a lie you've been telling yourself. Maybe you look at yourself and you feel overweight. Girl, that is a lie you are telling yourself. Maybe people make fun of you because you are so skinny, and the only thing you want to do is pick up weight, but you can't. Stop telling that lie to yourself. You are enough, regardless. And there's something I would just want to share with you, tips. Is that my paper? Where's my paper? Oh, there. Tips on how to embrace imperfections. As a mom and a parent, knowing your child is critical. I cannot emphasize this enough. Your home is the place where the key fundamentals must get implemented and practiced. It's vital for parents to show their kids what failure looks like, what anxiety, fear, and a diminished sense of being looks like. How else do you expect your kids to learn and understand that it is natural and part of life? We also need to understand that the complexity of the fear or the complexity of the failure has a different impact on every one of us. For one, it will push you to succeed. For me, it helped me to fail because I couldn't deal with the failure. I couldn't deal with the fact that it wasn't enough. Understanding your kid is vital. Before you say anything, consider your own failures first. Listen, empathize, and then focus on opportunities to learn, not abilities to achieve. We are seeking progression. We don't want perfection. To every woman and girl sitting here today, the girl looking back at you in the mirror is the person that's going to be part of your life for the longest time of your life. Get to love her. Get to form a relationship with her and get to understand her deeply. But also understand that that same girl will disappoint you. There will be times where she will cause shame for you. She will humiliate you. And she might even cause you to feel not worthy. She can disempower you. But in the same breath, she will also empower you. She will build you. She will grow you. But it all depends on you. Recognize all of you, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and love it unconditionally. Because if it wasn't for the girl that was so feisty and so tenacious, I probably wouldn't be standing here today. So today, I salute that girl in me that had the tenacity to endure, even in my darkest times, because she got me to a point that I can walk victoriously. Get a life coach. Get a mentor. Get any person possible, because it's the best investment you can ever make in your life. This year alone, I've seen about 8 coaches myself to just help reframe my mind, reform my thinking, and help me work on the true me. And lastly, invest in her, and she will reward you. I leave you with this last question. What is your forbidden fruit? I've learned a very important thing this year. Power means permission. The moment you give yourself power or permission to step into your power, you then can empower. It is time for you to give yourself permission to step into your supernatural power. I'm going to give you all something today. Even though I'm rehabilitated, I made a promise to God and I wrote a poem. So this morning I'm going to give you this poem with my business card. And when you read this poem, I also want to encourage you to go write your own. Let go of the things that's not serving you well in order for you to serve from a place of abundance. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Monique. We really appreciated your bravery to come and share some very vulnerable stuff with us. And I really think there's many of us with deep-rooted issues that we can't even speak about that. So the thing that I've learned from Monique is if you want to heal, you have to start talking about it, as you did. And I also want to thank you for your bravery to come and share your story with us, because you are valuable and we need to hear people like you to encourage us to also stay on the right road. You might think that our road are straight and narrow and in the right direction, but I can promise you, all of us sitting here today has something to fight. You're not the only one. You are the one that had the guts to come and tell us what your story is. And were, because that's your past now. You are a new creation now. So I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of Marie, the work that she does. I mean, that's my heart. That's why I invited her. We are all broken people. We are all broken people. We are born into this world broken. But you know what? You won. So let's rejoice. We've got victory today. Yeah. So we're very, very proud of you. Listen, guys, Jenna had to go, or she's here on the outside on the stoop. They've got a next meeting, so I just want to thank you for everyone that came today. We really appreciate it. The whole reason of the morning was for you to purchase the sandeles or the tule earrings that you will see I've got showcased here on the table. It's really very affordable. I tried to choose jewelry that will not rip our pockets. So we would appreciate it if you can spoil yourself with something. In one way, you are going to help us. And in another way, we are going to help Marie to contribute 10% of what you buy today to her Hepzibah NPO charity, NPC charity association that she has, where she takes people literally from the street back to where we should be, like with one of us. So, you know what? To be able to do things like this, you need money. Sorry to say, it's not nice to ask for money, but we have to. So please, if you feel you don't want to purchase anything and you only want to contribute, please come to me. We will take whatever you're going to offer and we'll give you a receipt for that as well. Nou maar baie dankie, geniet dit verder. Drink nog 'n lekker drankie van die twee mooi manne van die bar af daar. En dan moet julle die dag nou maar net lekker verder geniet en foto's neem en dit maar net hier geniet by ons. As julle enige verdere vrae het, is julle welkom. Dankie dat julle gekom het. Geniet dit. Dankie Marie, jy's awesome. Jy's awesome. En dankie Jolanda. Jolanda is ook awesome. Sy is een van my maatjies. So ja, en ek hoop julle ondersteun haar ook en die van julle wat 'n personal training session by haar wil hê, asseblief kom kry 'n papiertjie of gee jou nommer vir haar en dan kan jy soos 'n one-on-one met haar hê. En glo my, jy kry baie tips. Okay, dankie. Dankie julle.
Wil het middag aan. Weet jy dit is my meisiekind moet, ek weet nie wat ek het juggle nie. Sy moet 6 uur in Rooihuis kraal wees vir 'n prys want hulle het nasionaal met 'n debat geappelleer na haar gewees. In Rooihuis ja, met meisies. Dis meisies. Ja, sy het redenaars hulle afgesien hulle moet nie. Dan is in Rooihuis gaan die tweede kom. Ek het vanaand die prysuitdeling gekry. Dan dus terug al ja boy daai toe. Want sy speel NTS, hulle het waterpolo wat hulle speel. My het hierdie jaar vir eerste keer 'n waterpolo span.
Hoe is dat hulle nog opbou na die waterpolo toe?
Yes, so hulle sy speel vanmiddag 4:00, dan by die skool en dan NTS is vanmiddag 6:00 sal die daar wees. En dan sien jy, ek kan ja,
Wat is die plek hoor? Ja, miskien my nommer van.
Ja.
As jy vandag moet stop vir koffie,
Nee, ek dink ek het jou nommer van.
asseblief vir hulle van dit hoor.
Ja,
Asseblief terug.
ek sal definitief.
Nee, dis net by.
Ek gaan jou nommer vat.
Ja. Dis ek wat is met so af en toe iemand iets in weet.
Ja.
So lekker. Is dit nie?
Met net voorbij daai mense ontmoet. Net voorbij dit.
Wat is dit?
Is so. Dit kan verkeerd is.
Ja, wees het al so skugter om nieuwe mense te ontmoeten.